Very talented people here, and it's a matter like of any organization or any entity or any city or any country is somehow you capture people's energy, their imagination, and their intellect, and you let it happen. Our society must let the birds fly. Okay. And by the way, then you mentioned neighborhoods, Anita. Yes, that's something that the city wants to foster because there are so many interesting things happening in neighborhoods, and oftentimes they're overlooked. And that is another little gold mine that you might say that we can explore. And then you mentioned Oakland, and of course, it's just in the last few days, I guess they had a grand opening for Lake Merritt, and there's been a lot of money in rejuvenating that area. And so that's good to hear. We may not have our next speaker. He doesn't seem to be here at the moment, so my apologies for that. So we'll move things up a bit. Melissa Nelson-Brown will now introduce our guest from the Gold Country. And by the way, I want to thank you so much on behalf of every member of the Guild for showing you hospitality and the time and the generosity you expressed to our group when we went up there, when a number of us went up there earlier this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One of the nice things for me about this evening is to share the fam trip that many of us took back in March to Nevada County, California, specific to Grass Valley in Nevada City. Now they're here and they're doing a program for us tonight. They want to share that with all of us. From the Nevada County Tourism Advisory Committee, the chairman, Lynn Wilson, and his wife, Jackie. They also own the Pilot Peak Winery in Penn Valley, which is lovely. And with them, Sean Gillerin. Sean Gillerin was our host at the Holiday Inn in Grass Valley. And without further ado, let's get the program going.
Can you guys hear me from here, or do I need to get to the mic?
Well, I can take the mic out.
Then I have something in each hand, and I'm in trouble. Okay, what I'd like to do tonight is just give you a very quick view of what we are in Nevada County. So the slide is titled Nevada County Is. And I heard y'all talking about tourism, and it was kind of interesting. On the way in tonight, I saw a bumper sticker as we were driving into the city. And the bumper sticker said, "We call it tourism season." And the next line was, "Then why can't we shoot them?" So that was coming into the city. So not a real good thing. Can everybody see this, or am I in your way? There we go. So, Nevada County, California. Notice I said California, because we have a little bit of a problem. We have an identity crisis in Nevada County. We always have. Nevada County is not the state of Nevada. And that's a big problem we have. When most people talk about Nevada City, Nevada County, they think we're in Nevada. The world's largest wine show is in Sacramento each year. And about 4 years ago, we were asked to pour, and they had everybody lined up around the outside. When the Nevada County Vendors Association got down to the table, above our table was Nevada State. The state of Nevada. And so it's a big issue that we have. So we're taking a lot of time to try to get the word out. So we're not the state of Nevada. By the way, this isn't a derringer pointed at the state of Nevada, even though it may look like one. This is actually the county of Nevada. And we're kind of an east county and a west county, and the middle is the Truckee National Forest. So it's just absolutely beautiful. There are a lot of lakes, as you can see from the map. The East County is where all of the winter tourism happens. They also have some great summer biking and river rafting. In the Western County, we have the wineries. We also have the two historic cities of Grass Valley and Nevada City. So the county has a lot of bounty to share with everybody. There isn't necessarily any one thing that we're the best at. We're not the best wine country. We're not the best at really anything. But when you look at the composite, we have an awful lot to offer. And that's what we'd like you folks to understand. Some facts about the county. We established the county back in 1851. There's just under 100,000 folks there, so it's not very populated. And the service sector is the biggest employer that we have. So tech industry is there a little bit, but really the service industry is what drives the economy. We just had some recent accolades in the last year. Nevada City was rated as the #2 river town in the country. And Lonely Planet rated Nevada County as one of the top 10 destinations in the United States. So we're starting to get a little bit of notice. And I just want you folks to give us a little bit more notice. And that's why we're here today. So Nevada County is the Yuba and the Truckee Rivers. Absolutely gorgeous river country. If you've never had the opportunity to do it, the hiking, the swimming, all the water sports are there. We have a number of deep water lakes, so you can do paddle boarding, boating, water skiing, fishing, you name it, we host it up there. Float trips, from all the way from float trips to class 4 water, whitewater, so all of that. So whatever your pleasure is, we can do it. And if you just want to swim in a tranquil pool, we have lots of those up and down the river. Big swimming holes, big rocks to dive off of. It's just a fun place to be. We also have hiking. This is the view from Donner Summit, which, as you can see, is beautiful. And there's trails all through the mountains, all through the forest, all through both sides of the county. So if you're into hiking, this is the place to be. There's river trails, as I mentioned, that are either self-guided or there are a number of guided tours that you can take where they'll take you out and teach you about hiking. The Land Trust is very big up there, and we have a lot of opportunity to take hikes and do a lot of scheduled hikes, as you can see. Nevada County is cycling, so if you're into mountain biking or your folks are into mountain biking, it's the place to be. This is obviously a springtime shot with the lupins out, but there's bike trails all through the forest. And they're very simple or very complex, depending on your skill as a rider. And if you don't have a lot of skill, I would suggest you stay off some of those other trails because they're pretty tough. If you're into this, the Mountain Bikers of Nevada County has a website that has all of the trail maps on them. So your folks can go to that website, pick up all the maps. There's plenty of places to stay. There's easy egress to get in and out of the trail, so you don't have to hike back in to get to them. They're all accessible from the roads that are there. So it's a lot of fun. We hold a lot of world-class competitive racing up there. 2 years ago, we had the Amgen race, which I'm sure you guys are all familiar with, started in Nevada City. So, and every year on Father's Day, which is coming up, is the Nevada City Classic, which we get a lot of riders from world class around the world that come in to ride in these races. Lance won a couple of them up there, and of course we had to take him off the board. But that class of rider comes in. And there's miles and miles of open road for casual riders and challenges from very simple and flat to the very extreme. We're up in the mountains, so you can get a pretty good ride out of it. Nevada County is winter sports. This is all on the eastern side of the county. On the western side of the county, we kind of say that we settle there because we're above the fog and we're below the snow. Which actually is true most of the time. We get a little bit of snow sometimes, but for the most part, we don't get snow in the western part of the county. But I can be on the ski slopes from my house in an hour and 10 minutes, which is really nice. So I can visit the snow, and when I'm done with it, I leave. But there's a lot of folks that love to live in the snow. We have snowshoe excursions, cross-country skiing, traditional downhill, snowboard parks, snowmobile trails, you name it, it's there. And it's all close. We're also very, very family friendly. So there's classes available on all of the skiing slopes and all the skiing areas that will take anywhere from the kids. They have classes that they'll teach your kids or babysit the kids while you're out skiing. So it's a very, very family friendly family experience. If you're into high-end skiing, we have everything from the very simple to the very extreme. So there's terrain there that can challenge anybody. Nevada County's vineyards and wineries. This is probably something some of you may not know. We're part of the Foothills, AVA, and it goes all the way from Murphy's, that AVA, up to the Nevada County. We're the last county up. And the vines actually were planted back in the 1850s, a lot of them. Then Prohibition hit. So we stopped the vines. And really the modern wine industry didn't start in Nevada County until about the mid 1980, is when Nevada City Winery really came into existence, and they were the first to start. And then vineyards started popping up. We have altitudes in our vineyards from 1,200 to 2,650. Now what that means is the higher you go, the cooler it gets, so the harder it is to get grapes right. If you look at the vintages that we try to grow up there, they grow very well. They're not the Bordeaux, they're not the Chardonnays, they're actually the Rhônes. And the Rhônes do very, very well up there. The Barberas, the Tempranillos, the cooler climate grapes do very well. And we win a lot of awards with our grapes, just like the rest of the foothills. There's 20 bonded wineries up there now that can be visited. There's maps on the back table back there. By the way, there is literature on the back table, magazines and some other literature if you guys would like to pick some up and take along. But there's 20 wineries up there now. There's tasting rooms in all three towns, really. There's one winery in Truckee, which is, I think, the highest winery in California last time I looked. And they have a tough time getting grapes right, but they do. And there's 11 wineries that you can taste in Grass Valley, and there's 3 wineries you can taste in Nevada City. And there are probably half the wineries up there. You can go to the actual winery that have tasting rooms on site, and you can enjoy them there. So a lot of the wineries went into the towns because a lot of people that visit don't never get outside of the towns. So if you want to get the customers, you go to the towns, and then we shoot them out to the towns. So we have a tasting room that we share in Grass Valley with 2 other wineries, so it's a co-op winery. And as I said, award-winning wines at all the competitions. The annual events draw large crowds, as you can see. This was a wine trail that we held a couple of years ago. The one thing you will find in our wine country is you usually deal with the owners. My wife and I are an owner of a winery, and we're out there every weekend, greeting people and working with people. So the folks up there you will meet. We're not the least bit snooty. So wine to us, I mean, we had this joke about Napa that a lot of people drown there because they walk around with their nose up in the air. But we're not like that at all. So, and then you'll find that many of the properties every weekend there are offerings of music, food, dancing, and wine. Sangria, of course, when it's hot. So a lot of the wineries put on things too. As you can see, the properties are beautiful. Nevada County's history. This is Malakoff Diggings. And Malakoff Diggings was one of the first hydraulic mines for gold in California. And when I say hydraulic, they had water cannons that they trained on the hillsides, and you can see the results of what happened. It may look beautiful in this picture, but it destroyed the landscape. I mean, this stopped back in the 1800s. It hasn't changed. Nothing has regrown, as you can see. So it's kind of a good picture of man's folly. It was easy to start, and it went for about 10 years. But it really made a mess. So hopefully we don't do that again. It is a state park, and it's very interesting to visit and just see what really happened. This is State Park at Empire Mine, which Sean is on the board of the Empire Mine. And this is the deepest hard rock mine that there was in California. So hard rock means that they're down there really drilling the stuff out and bringing the ore to the top and then crushing it. So a lot of the things that happened around Grass Valley and Nevada City were based around the mines. It's the oldest, largest, deepest, richest gold mine in California. And the folks that they brought in were Cornish miners, because the Cornish miners did tin mining in Corn, and I guess Wales is where they were from, Cornish in England. West England. And so they brought their culture with them. And today, up in Grass Valley, you'll still find a lot of the Cornish heritage that's still there. We have an event every year in Grass Valley called Cornish Christmas. Nevada City, it's Victorian Christmas, but those are the two big holidays for the Christmas season. You can still buy pasties, which are the food that the miners cook down into the mine, the Cornish miners. There's two shops in Grass Valley that still sell that. So it's very interesting just to see the culture. And the real interesting thing is if you look at all the shafts that were drilled under and around Grass Valley, if you put them all end to end, those tunnels would go all the way to Santa Monica from Grass Valley. So there's over 400 miles of tunnels down. Now, probably below 300 feet, everything's flooded because the water table, when they were actively mining, they pumped water all the time. And of course, that water came out of the mine, went into the local streams, and whatever was in the water went into the local stream. So again, it's an environmental issue that we're still paying for. They got about $500 million worth of gold out of this mine, and I'm told that there's more than that still there.
What's
Still
the
there.
name of the
Empire Mine.
Empire.
The Empire Mine. This is our fairgrounds, and some of you may have heard of this. This is one of the most famous fairgrounds in California. It's a beautiful fairground. And the symbol that's a draft horse, and it's used. They used the draft horses originally for the logging industry, which was huge in Nevada County. That was our economic engine early on in the century. Now, not so anymore. Logging has really died down. And then tech took over, and now grapes are coming back. We're also starting a lot of new farmers in Nevada County. When I say new, I mean young. Kids are getting into farming again, which is good because we all have to eat. So hopefully we can keep those folks involved. The fairgrounds itself is named by the state legislature as the most beautiful fairgrounds in California. The annual county fair is rated one of the top 10s in the United States, and it goes on for a week in August. And the Draft Horse Classic, which folks that own these draft horses, these are beautiful animals. I don't know if any of you have ever seen them or not. But the owners of these animals bring them into the fairgrounds once a year, and they come from all over the world. And they're just beautiful animals. And it's like the Budweiser team, if you can think of that, right? But there's hundreds of Budweiser teams, and they all compete in log pulling and everything else. So it's really a lot of fun, but it's a premier event at the fairgrounds. The Miners Foundry is another thing that you don't want to miss when you're in Nevada City. It started in about 1856, and these folks actually built and fabricated most of the materials that supported the mines. So they were big into fabrication. It's still there today. They had the largest single pour of the Pelton wheel. Now, the Pelton wheel probably doesn't mean anything to any of you folks. It didn't mean anything to me when I first heard about it. But it was the first wheel that actually converted the kinetic energy that's in a flowing stream of water to mechanical energy. And if you think about the old machines, they used a pressure head. So they get water or something way up high, create a pressure head, and use that to drive the machine. This actually had buckets on a big wheel that sat in a stream that got turned, and they turned that into the energy that drove everything that happened in the mine. So this foundry was responsible for that. It's still there today. Many of the artifacts are there during the mining times, and now it's used for a cultural center. So they have all kinds of events. It's a huge facility, so there are a lot of events held there, weddings, you name it. But it's right in the middle of Nevada City. This is our covered bridge down at Bridgeport. This is the largest single-span covered bridge in the United States. And it's pretty interesting. It's still functional. They actually closed it down last year for repairs. But it's a beautiful peak of architecture. It's over the Yuba River, which is you can see flowing underneath. And it too is one of our state parks, right in the county. It was built in 1862, and it's one of the 10 remaining covered bridges in California. So it's there as well. So see how all this stuff is really close to you guys, and you should bring people up and see it. Nevada County is a lively art scene. It's amazing to me how many people in the arts we have in Nevada County. It's a great place to retire or get away, or I guess if you're an artist, it's a great place to be. So we have a lot of it up there. This is classical music that Music in the Mountains puts on. They put on a number of concerts every year. This happens to be in the fairgrounds. So they have everything up there from classic to hardcore rock and roll and every genre in between.
So lots and lots of music, lots and lots of entertainment. We've got a lot of visual and performing arts community is very vibrant in Nevada County. So a lot of galleries, a lot of art galleries, a lot of photography galleries, numerous annual music festivals. We have an Italian festival up there where everybody that rolls a bocce ball comes in. So we have lots of folks that come up for the art. And we also bring a lot of famous artists into town. The Center for the Arts in Grass Valley has been extremely successful in bringing a lot of big acts into town. And it's amazing, we're kind of in the backwater, and a lot of people don't know about us, but a lot of big time talent comes into town. So if you're thinking about a tour or bringing somebody out, check the websites, because you can always find out who's there, when they're going to be there, and what's going on. Nevada County is hospitality. This actually is Sean's facility, the Holiday Inn. And there are a number of bread and breakfast, Victorian in style, but we really have lodging for every taste. So it'd be hard to find somebody that wanted something that's not there. We have historic hotels, modern accommodations, you name it, we have it. There's also a lot of vacation rental properties available, so a lot of people take advantage of that. And we've got first-class award-winning restaurants. So we kind of cover the gamut there. This is the Holbrook Hotel. Some of you folks partook of the Holbrook Hotel, I think, when you were up there. Probably a little more than you should have. And the other is now called the 5 Mile House, but it was a stagecoach stop just above Nevada City on Highway 20 on the way to Truckee. It's been converted into a roadhouse restaurant, which the food is excellent. And the owner actually, every month, he changes the cuisine to a different country. This month, it's Argentina. And the food is fantastic. So there's all of these kind of things that you can take advantage of in Nevada County. So we've got a wide selection and theme of meal choices, dining rooms, if you like indoor. We have a lot of outdoor dining rooms as well. And entertainment. Most of the establishments at night have entertainment. So lots to do. Now, a little bit about the cities. Obviously, this is historic downtown Grass Valley. It was established in 1851. The architecture is still pretty much the same way as it was back in 1851. Our downtown tasting room is in one of these buildings. In fact, it's right there. That's our barrel. I swear if we had an earthquake up there wouldn't be a stone left in Grass Valley. Because you can take your finger on the bricks and scrape dust out of the bricks. It's still the original architecture that was there a long time ago. Very unique and very neat place to be. Grass Valley was originally a working class town. Nevada City, on the other hand, is where the executives and the owners live. Grass Valley is where the workers live. And that's still pretty much the way it is today. If you look at the two cities, all the merchants that sell things live in Grass Valley. Nevada City is more of a tourism enclave. Both cities are beautiful. This is Nevada City, as I mentioned. This is their Victorian Christmas. And here's where all the mine owners work. Lots of festivals there every year. The Wild Scenic Film Festival you may have heard of. It gets bigger and bigger every year. They come from all over the world to show in this area. This is Truckee. It's kind of the eastern entry point to the county. Has a visitor center, the California Visitor Center, and is the heart of all of the things. Now, I mentioned to you that Nevada County has 4 seasons, and we really do. So this is Grass Valley. This is wine barrels in Grass Valley on one of the days it snowed. In the springtime, we get all the runoff and all the wildflowers, so it's absolutely gorgeous in the springtime. Summertime, a lot of things happening outside. As I said, everybody has entertainment, there's plenty to do. In the wintertime, we actually have the changing of leaves. So we've been kind of called the New England of the West. But I grew up back east, and it's nice to see those leaves change. I like the 4 seasons, and we do have 4 seasons. The best thing is we're close. That's drive time, so within 3 hours, anywhere in the gray area you can be. That's from the middle of the county. So we are close. We're served by all those major airports. There's shuttle services, buses that can get to us. And bottom line of this whole thing is Nevada County is greater than some of its parts. So at this point, I'll take questions if there are any. If not,